Hey YouTube, it's SoulPrime13 with another video review. Before we get started, I want to explain why this video is kind of taking a while to get out. I've had kind of a lot going on in my personal life. I just had to find a new job, and I just started it, so I was a little busy getting that sorted out. I also did shoot this video once already, but unfortunately, due to my small camera space that I have to work with, I kept bumping the camera, and in editing I tried to make it look reasonable, but it was just completely out of hand, so I decided to scrap it and start over. So I apologize for this video taking a little while from when I posted the first impressions, but with that said, let's go ahead and get into all of this. So we'll take a quick look at him. We got a nice Decepticon symbol there on the chest. We've got the head sculpt there. Again, don't know how well it comes through with this camera, but that is there. He does have painted red eyes. He does have plenty of silver and red details. Got some red for the biceps. To get into articulation, first of all, this cannon does come off, and it has this little armature, so you can store it in different ways. It does compact and fold up. The little sight there does have a little tab slot it goes into right here, and if you want, you can store that on its back. And there are different ways to store the cannon. Personally, I always keep it on his forearm, like the original G1. But if you want to have it hanging off his back, you can. There's ways to swing it under his arm, sort of like the Armada Megatron. I'll show it off in a second here, but there is a way to combine his arms like the '07 movie Megatron. Actually, I'll just go ahead and show that now. Just flip in his hands. And turn his arms inward so that the peg holes are facing in, to sort of leverage those butterfly joints. Oh. Come on. You can sort of. Come on. Stop fighting me. Don't know. There we go. Jeez. You can, make him have that dual arm cannon like in the movie. But anyway, now that that's out of the way, we'll fix his arms real fast. Make sure I got everything oriented right. Anyway, so yeah, continuing on with articulation, he does have butterfly joints in his shoulders. He has outward movement at the shoulder. He's got full 360 bicep swivel. He does have over 90 degrees of elbow, and he does have an elbow swivel as well. He does have wrist swivel. He does have articulated fingers, the 3-1 setup. He has waist swivel. The side skirt pieces can move up, and if you really want, they can move back because of the transformation joints. These front skirts can move that far forward. I'll make sure I get this right. Yeah. The legs, if you move these out, can go very far forward, and about that far back. He does have a very good bend at the knee, over 90 degrees. The only reason it stops there is because of the parts in his leg, which it actually goes further during transformation. Let's see, he's got a thigh swivel, and I guess if you want, you can unpeg these and give him weird hanging legs. Let's see what else. These knee pieces do move. Again, more so for the transformation, but that is a thing you can do. His toes move that far up, and they can move a little bit down. He does have ankle tilt, and his foot does, it kind of slides a little, not really, but yeah, there is that. Oh, and his head can rotate 360 and look up and down. So I think it's on a ball joint, but there's not much side to side. But it is there. Anyway, we'll go ahead and give him his cannon back. And I think next we'll move on to transformation. Oh wait, actually before we do that, we should do a size comparison, shouldn't we? Let's see, the only current movie Optimus Prime I have to pair him with is this Voyager Rise of the Beasts, which I believe is a little bit too short to be in scale, but there's an idea of what he will look like next to that. Then let's bring in his favorite set of lackeys. We got Starscream. We got Soundwave. Nope. Come on, Soundwave. Pull yourself together. And we also have Shockwave. Let's see if I can't get them all in a group shot here. Yeah. So that's all of these three Voyagers scale with him. Oh, one more thing before we transform him. He is blast compatible, so you can put blast effects in his cannon, as one should be blasting with a cannon. So there is that. Alright, now moving on to transformation. So first we want to unpeg this whole back section and sort of pull that away. It's on a set of 3 hinges. You want to pull that all the way out. Next, for his arms, we're going to fold in the hands. You do have to orient the fingers a specific way for them to fit in. Let's see if I have it set. Yeah, no I don't. So you want the index finger curled all the way in, but you want to take these 3 fingers and sort of lap them over the palm a little bit. I don't know how well that's coming through. But once you do that, it should slide right in. And these little nubs are unfortunately not blast compatible. They're a little bit too small. They just, I mean, you can kind of set it on there, but you can see it's not, yeah, it's not really holding. Anyway, we want to come around and do the same for the other hand, which looks like, nope, not quite. Get that index finger in there. Come on. There we go. Alright, come over here to the chest and pull this whole assembly up like so. Wait, before we do that, we want to rotate his head to face backwards like that. So, see, then we want to lift these skirt pieces up, move these forward, and separate the legs at the hip section. Then for the legs themselves, we're going to pull this panel down and bring this wing piece out. And we're going to untab the tread here at the back from the leg, fold the foot in, and then bring this, gotta untab it at the knee joint as well. Bring that whole thing back, and then there's a tab here on the top of the tread that will plug into the bottom of his foot, like so, like that. Come around, do the same with the other side. Open up this wing panel. Mine are pretty tight, so then we're gonna bring this all back, fold in the foot, and tab it in like so. And we're gonna bring these wing panels down, but fold the tip outward. Bring it down, fold it out. Then we're gonna bring the legs up like so, and there are these tabs here that will go into the side of the wing right there. Or wait, yeah. Oh. Right, forgot a step, gotta fold the skirt pieces back down first. Then they will tab. There we go. Fold that in, tab it in. Then we will come up here. There is a little slot on this middle black piece. It's kind of hard to see, but there is that. There's a little tab right here that it will lock onto. Might have to give it a good push. There we go. Next, we're going to fold his arms in like so. Then there is a little tab and slot right back here that will let the arms line up, and then you want to angle them together like that. You're going to pull the cannon armature forward and rotate his arm in. You're going to sort of bend his elbows together and tab the cannon in like so. And then the last piece is you come down here, and there are a second set of treads that pull out from the back of his legs. And there you have Megatron in his tank mode. Now, he doesn't actually have any wheels on the bottom. They're like plastic sculpted wheels on these back treads for some reason, but there's no actual wheels, which is a little weird. But you know, you can slide them around. And most of the tank formers don't really roll these days, even with the little wheels they give them, especially if they have tire treads. Overall, I like his tank mode better than the jet mode by a lot. If you've seen any previous reviews of this guy, you'll know why. His jet mode does feel very thrown together, but I will get to that in a bit. My biggest gripe is that his head is just hanging out there, and it's not uncommon for, you know, visible head syndrome or visible hand syndrome, or as I like to call them, VHS type 1 and type 2. Type 1, type 2. But the thing is, like, if you move his turret even a little bit, like, it's just sitting there from above, too. It's one thing when it pops out on the bottom, because, you know, you're not usually going to look at the bottom, but it's just kind of hanging out there, just from most angles. Like from the side you can't really see it, but even a little bit from the top, it's just there. So, but you know, that not much I can do about it. You know, I didn't design the thing. There's nothing I can really do to change that. I would have liked if they would have made it just so this chest panel could have moved back over on top of it or something, but it is what it is. Not too much else to go over for the tank mode, but I think we'll do one quick size comparison here. Alright, so seeing as how they both have shared a G1 alt mode and now currently have a similar replacement alt mode, here is Shockwave and Megatron in their tank modes. So there's that size comparison. Now let's move on to his second alt mode, the jet mode. So we're gonna separate the arms again, and we'll just bring them back together like this for now. Just sort of get them out of the way. Gonna separate his legs from the main body again. And so for the legs, we're going to pop these gray panels up again, and we're going to untab the foot, and then we're going to rotate this tank tread like so. That'll bring out this thruster looking part, which unfortunately, while it has like a little circular hole here, is not blast compatible either, which is a disappointment. That would have been cool to have those in the thrusters. That's always neat. But we're going to bring the foot down, and there will be a different tab and a different slot on the foot that these will all tab together. So there's that, and then we'll bring the wing out. Then we're going to bring this whole assembly down together like so. And there's another tab on the other side of the tread that will plug into the other tread on the back of the thigh. Then we're going to bring this kneecap piece outwards, and we'll just set that aside for now. We are going to need to move these hip skirts out of the way again and move these two forward. Alright, now back to the other leg. Second verse, same as the first and all that. Gonna untab it, flip out the thruster, bring out the wing. These are really tight on mine. Going to tab the new set into together, bring this up like so, and tab it into the back, flip out the knee piece, and now we are going to move. And I gotta untab this back piece. Come on. Like I said, some of my tabs are really tight and do not like to let go. Ow. I caught my finger there. Okay, we're gonna move these back into the hip area. Now for this, we want to make sure that while we're doing this, okay, yeah, I got this set up wrong. You want to make sure that the hip joint, there's a little tab on the back gray part that will tab into this frontal hip skirt. So you want to bring that forward, and it'll slot in there and hold it in place. It's not the best connection, but it's there. I'm going to do the same with the other side. Bring that around. Come on. There we go. Tab it in. Alright. Now we'll come over here to the chest head area. We are going to bring this up a ways and rotate his head back forward. and swing it back in. We're going to open up these panels, flip this out, and then flip this out, making the cockpit. And then the instructions say to flip these two panels in. I don't always do that, but again, it's up to you. Don't forget to flip out the wing. Alright, now for the arms, I believe what we do next is we have to, we spread these apart and bring, kind of accordion this 3 hinge piece, so that you bring the arms underneath the specific way you gotta do it, and I don't always remember exactly, but there we go. So the first piece goes flat, and then the black middle piece folds back over it, and then the whole thing will come down and peg into the top of his chest, like so. Then we bring the arms down here, and the legs came untabbed again. We're gonna bring the arms together, and you're supposed to rotate the arms in. You flip the guns upwards, or the gun cannon, and you sort of do that like so. And yeah, this came untabbed again. Just kind of squeeze that back into place. There we go. And there are these tabs right here on the arms that are supposed to go into the leg right here. It's kind of hard to see, but honestly, most of the time, yeah, it just kind of pops back out. It does not hold together very well, but it's what the instruction says to do, so I'm mentioning it. But yeah, more or less, this is his jet mode, for better or worse. There we go. And it looks mostly okay from the front. But personally, I find it pretty lacking. It does feel kind of thrown together. It's very much the alt mode is a weird yoga pose. The only thing like, the whole undercarriage just feels out of place. Like, the wings are a little small, but you know, that's not the end of the world. The thrusters look okay, and I do like the way they made the cockpit and everything. And the face is actually covered up now, but yeah, just this whole underside just feels really out of place and wonky. But that is his jet mode. And we'll do another size comparison here. So here he is next to Starscream, everybody's favorite backstabber. So there is that. Now, before we wrap up, there are a couple things I want to go over. Mainly, I have fiddled around with this guy a fair bit, because overall he has lots of posability, and there are definitely lots of fan modes out there. Personally, I did mess around with the jet the most, trying to make it look more presentable, I guess. So what I did was I switched it so that the arms were forward facing, and I kind of tuck them next to these kneecap pieces and squeeze them in, and that way the whole thing is more flush. So that's what I do. Now, it would be nice if there was like a peg hole somewhere in the middle that you could store the gun on the top or the bottom. I unfortunately haven't been able to find any super good way to put that. That said, I did find, and this is really only good for display because it won't hold on super securely, but the armature, you can see there's a little tab there, and if you bring that arm down, that little tab will actually sort of slot onto this little, the little notch will go into this little tab and it's for the back in his tank mode. And again, it's not super solid, but you can, yeah, see, it just kind of pops right back up if you touch it, and it won't hold through a shake test. But if you're just looking to display him, you can put the cannon on his back like that, giving him a weird butt gun. It would be better if, you know, you could face it the other way, because the other end does look more like a thruster engine, but, you know, it's not perfect, but I find that this is a lot more streamlined than the, you know, official mode. So this is what I like to do with it. And again, you know, that'll pop off if you even shake it or bump it, but it is something you can do. And you know, you can always just take this off and leave it to the side, or, you know, you can put it on the top, or, you know, hook it on the arms. And I think there's not really any place you can put it on the bottom just as is, but yeah, if there was like some way to just hook it on there, it would be great. But overall, I find this to work better. I mean, it is more of him just, you know, doing a weird yoga pose, but I feel this at least fits the streamlinedness of a jet better. So, but yeah, that is my review of the Bumblebee movie Leader Class Megatron.